we have finally come to the point in the video where I show you all a little more, and we've been kind of going over these walruses a couple of days. Finally got another one finished out here, and as I was already kind of demonstrating before, I'm going to take one of the ones I have left. I still have 3 more to sew after this, but I've already demonstrated how I've stuffed the muzzle and the tusks and made the little hole for the eye. But at this point I'm going to start stuffing it a little more, kind of get a little extra work put into it, kind of make it so it'll be stuffed and come to the point where I demonstrate it to you like I want to show here. Do want to say that, of course, this is again my time where I'm kind of in a little social hibernation, and all this stuff happening in Russia and Ukraine right now, it's kind of been some to deal with, some we've had to kind of pray about, so bear with me on that. We're taking care of that. I've already kind of put a little more stuffing into the head there. There comes a point where you kind of have to also stuff the fins here, like you kind of see me doing here, and when you take that step, kind of get it all in. I say that there comes a point where you can kind of stuff the fins of the tail here, kind of get that extra little bit of work into it, and the work will just come along so fine, you know. And I say that this is just a ways to go, make things so they ought to be how they need to be. I'm kind of working all along, trying to get the stuff in here. And like I said before, I've gotten to where, upon the advice I received online, I went out and purchased knitting needles that I've started to use to stuff these things. Sometimes I also have to use the blunt end, and with this one being made out of metal, that kind of makes it so it works a little bit better than those little stuffing tools that I got that were made out of wood that used to come with the stuffing, but they don't come with it anymore. So that's how the work comes along. Just gotta say, at this time we're kind of making it a long way, and I've been seeing a lot of neat things going around online. I've been kind of debating whether or not I want to carve an Easter nativity set, but I kind of see that the way that is, you know, probably better to just kind of have one that's a little bit of scroll saw work, and think I'm kind of getting to where I've sort of learned my lessons enough about scroll saws. I might be able to buy myself a new one, take better care of it, not try to put any wood in it that it's not designed for. And went out and bought some bass and some butternut today. Got a few more things to make out of that. So what you see is I've already stuffed it so far. Stuffed the fins, the front fins and the body and the tail fins. It's just kind of the way I make this have to come along, and I've gotten pretty far along here. I do want to mention that there's another little bit of work I'm going to do here, and I might need to kind of sew a little bit down here, a little closer to where we get to the tail, and that's something I think we can manage very well. I say we're working on this fine. You know, probably many more creatures I hope to make over time. Had somebody inspire me online to kind of get some red material and make a fox, but don't think I'm gonna bother to get red material. I just might make it unique, try to make it out of blue jeans or something like that. But I think I'm gonna probably take some of the patterns I've made and probably convert one of them into a pattern for a fox, either my cat pattern or my raccoon pattern, either one. Try to convert them as easily as that. There's a little way I do that. Hope to kind of make a video where I can show it to you. We did kind of lose the knot on the needle here, so I say that we pulled out a little fiber. But we're going to cut that off in the end. Couldn't get it completely bitten off there, so this is how it's going to go. We got the new knot made. We're going to kind of put it through and try to sew here a little bit further along the back of the body, closer to the front of the tail, and kind of make the little lines come through. And to me, I tell you, it's just a pleasure to kind of use these jeans like I do to make things. It's just kind of among those things where little things shall happen in life, little things shall come and go. We know that our work is gonna take us somewhere, someday, some way, and finally coming down to it. Finally got a little knot made at the end. Come back and break the thread there. Kind of try to go as far as up to the next step. We got another step to take here. We're going to take that. We're going to make the line come through. All these days I say that life could be kind of interesting, and also we're kind of making the lines come along as they need to be, making the little sew, the weave as it needs to go. Like they say, when you're driving, if you're weaving back and forth on the road, they sort of pull you over, suspecting you might have had something to drink. It's all little strange things in life, but we roll along with it. We know each individual has a different experience, and all from a different standpoint, you know. Can't all experience things the same way in life. Can't always see things the same, know things the same. But I've come quite along on this. Got another little place to stuff it in the back. Go a little further down and make a little place in here. Go a little more towards the tail and get this little line in it taken care of. Apparently little fibers are coming out somewhere. Got to get rid of those. But I'm just made a little place here. We're gonna kind of sew along up near the front of the body towards the back of the front fin, and kind of make the knot go through, make it kind of where it's kind of little and makes its little ways through. And I say that there's just kind of ways we come and ways we go. Oh, the work that comes with it, all the joy that comes with it too. I say that we all have little times in our life when we all have little different explorations of different things. This is just the kind of thing that does its way through us and makes its way into us. There's just little strange things in life we go through, strange things that happen to us. We don't always understand how they are or why they are that way, but we get along just fine in them. I'm hoping I might be able to get back out sooner or later. Might need another night inside my house to finish this. There's probably another video I'm about to work on pretty soon, and about to take care of that as good as we can. And you know, if you kind of saw me carving the lambs, one thing I need to do is make the video where finally put the finish on them. So that's going to be a thing I'm going to demonstrate here in a little bit. I've been grateful to learn that there's been people out there who have been watching my videos online, seeing how I do my stuff, hearing some of my stories and some of what I've had to say. Everybody just kind of has a lot of good comments to make. Hopefully I might get a little more comments on my videos sooner or later, kind of get a little help here and there. Lots of people have helped me in lots of ways to kind of do the things that might interest and attract the most people, the most viewers, the most buyers. So we've got a little work to take along on this. I think I've probably gotten this pretty full. Gonna make the work drive its way along and kind of like make little knots and take them all up to the point where they drive a little hard away. They make a little sound like the thunder. You know, you learn to listen to little things in life, hear the little things that are said. Sometimes there's kind of moments we have to take little times of retreat from our places and take our times from the places where we go and kind of take a little time to speak to God and let God speak to us, because it's all just going to have a little meaningless work to it here. Make us all think that it's all going to be good for the long run. All going to be good for the long haul. Of course, there are times we all make mistakes in life, and there's always forgiveness, always second chances. I tell you, this time around I got the knot to come undone on the needle, so I'm going to have to put that back in place. It is really a struggle, let me tell you that. So got to get the work to come along right to it. Say that this is just the kind of thing we need here, and life shall take us, conquer us, and make us all good and new for who we are, what we do. I say that we all kind of do a little work now and then. We all kind of brighten our days. make things better for ourselves, make things better for those around us. And in this time, there's a lot to say as far as how the work is going to come along. This is a good time for us to pray for Ukraine. They got little things going on there with Russia, and as I come to see here, I have finally sewn along here, kind of made the knot in the place where it needed to start, and sewed up to the fin, and came all the way back to the place where the other stitching ended. Have a few more ways to go, have a little more ways to go, a little bit of extra way to go up here, and to kind of make a little more knots and kind of show how this will all just kind of work out for the better all in the end. So as we've come along, we've shown ourselves that we make the place. And this is where we've come to. Got to take a little sip here. Of course, I say there is one more thing here that we need to do, and that is to thread this needle again, kind of make another little knot that's going to go through it, tie the knot in place, make it a little firmer and nicer and kinder, and try to get it where it ought to go. So as the work is going to come along, we got little places to take the knots around, and sometimes tie it in 3 or 4 to make sure it stays in the correct place. We got a little place here that's just a little bit open, so all we got to do is sew that spot closed, and then we're going to pull it through, make a little knot. We are kind of in the middle of where this little hole is still here, so we've got to draw the line along that, take it a little further. Of course, there's a piece on the other end we've got to cut and drape. So we're going to go a little further up. We're going to start going in one direction, sew it all the way to where the other stitching ends, and then come back and go the other direction and do likewise. Sometimes I say, it doesn't even hurt to go back to the same places again if you kind of need to do it to make sure you got it all in good place like it needs to be. So I think we probably got that one a little too out into the fabric, so came back and pulled it out, kind of go the rest of the way, try to make sure we get it all the right way, get it all in the right place, make it so it brightens our lives a little more and touches our lives better. We all need to see a little break in the light, a little break in the sunshine. Oh, the joys we have of what we do and what we work with. It all just kind of shines like the light of day. I will say we're kind of getting a little more daylight, because I mean, it's probably not going to be that many weeks till we're going to go back to daylight savings time, so it's kind of getting a little bit stay in daylight or a little later in the evening than it used to be. Could definitely for sure say I'd be back in the coffee shops again at night when it starts getting daylight later for sure. So I'd say for how the work comes along, it just brightens our lives and makes us so much nicer to see the light of day coming. Positive little aspects. So I'm gonna sew along on this, take it a little further, go up a little more, come back to some of the places where I've already been, and finally tie the knot. Make the knot come right through there and make it go right on. Cut the thread. Now, one thing I'm going to focus on right now is see what I have in my bag. See if down in here I might be able to find a Sharpie marker. Try to keep plenty of them around these days. Now, one thing I also need to do is to kind of see what I have here. Pair of scissors. Try to cut off little strings as we have them that are kind of sticking out a little bit. Oh, little Tom, we got little things here, maybe a little hole here and there, but managed to work it out just fine. Probably got little fibers sticking out. Gotta cut those away. Thankfully we've got them. And this is one where you can see I've already put my initials and the year on it, JDP 2022. But there's a time when I think now that I've finished a couple of more, I'm going to do the same with those. Now, as I'm going to make mention of to you all, I finally did that, took care of that. And I will say I've got a few more sets of those, sets of scraps cut out from which to make many more of those. There's going to come a time when I'm finally going to get around to taking care of that. We're going to do that. But as for right now, we're going to close the video and just want to say, have a nice day.